Good morning, guys. Do I look like I just woke up? Because I sure did just wake up. Anyway, this is a video response to Ed's Friday Gundam polls, and I'm glad to say that they're back. Um, he asks, how do you build your Gunpla? Like, what's your building process? How do you go about, from opening the box up to looking at the parts to nipping them off and all that stuff? And my answer pretty much varies on the certain project I have in mind, especially like with the past two being the Quanta and no, not even, the past three I would say being the Master Grade Freedom to the Quanta and now the Unicorn, both Unicorn and Destroy mode. And I would have to say with the Master Grade Freedom, it was pretty much almost a straight process, aside from adding color. That color being just some gold and silver here and there. It was the first time I used that much clear coat on a model kit. But aside from that, it was pretty much a straight build. And it wasn't because just like the Quanta, where I looked at it, wasn't really satisfied with the original design, and I added color where I wanted it to be, and I also added dry transfer decals just to add a little bit more detail to it, because it really was that it really had that Exia-ness to it, if you know what I mean. And what I mean by Exia-ness is Exia's design really asks for warning symbols and just decals and markings here and there. Although I didn't do that to my Master Grade, let me just say that if I ever did get a second one, I would definitely use the dry transfers on it. The design just completely asks for it. Much like a mobile suit from the Universal Century series, like the Gundam Mark II. That's definitely a I would say a decal Gundam. Anyway, back to Freedom. It was pretty much a straight build. I just added highlighted details like I would with I began to do a while back with different mobile suits, and especially like some of my Transformers figures. I would use my either gold or silver or even my Tamiya copper or brass, I forgot, to highlight some details of the figure where they have detail, they're just not colored. And that's what I did with Freedom. I kind of took a step up from that with Quanta, and I pretty much just explained that. And for those of you who have been watching the build series, then you know what I did. It was how did I do this? So instead of completely talking about how I'm going to build the other two, or build these two, basically with Quanta, I do the normal. I nip, shave off excess plastic, the nubs and stuff, and then if it's a piece that doesn't require painting, then I just straight up take it from the parts tree, organize them in the different areas of where they're supposed to go, either in the box or on the cutting mat, just to kind of organize it. But if it's a piece that needs painting, then I set it aside in the same order, but kind of like I have like two different bodies. One set of the body is the unpainted pieces, or the pieces that don't need paint at all, but I still position them in accordance to where the body part is. But then the other pile is the pieces that need paint. And then I set aside, or I work on the pieces that need painting first, whether it be panel lining or paint in general, and then of course top coat. So I do those pieces first, and then as I let the pieces and top coats and all the paint dry up, then I go ahead and work on the pieces that don't really need any added on attention. Maybe some panel lining, and then if I can assemble them, then I will do so, as I wait for the pieces that need to be painted dry up. So in the end, I get a result of a half painted and also half clear coated mobile suit, or a model kit, because some pieces didn't require any paint, and whatever I did needed some paint, I would of course, clear coat. So it's kind of like a half clear coated, half untouched model kit in the end, which sounds weird. And I'm trying to get to a point where I can actually do a full paint job, and that's hopefully what I want to do with what I want to end up doing with Destroy mode and Unicorn mode, because I'm doing a colored panel line wash in the end. So it's gonna end up more, and I have like this entire can of flat, so I will be able to do that without any problem. So it really, in the end, it really depends on the build process and the project I have in mind. Especially recently, where I'm really trying to up my level, just level up my build processes and being able to paint and especially use clear coats. And I think my model kits will definitely benefit with my moist hands using clear coats and stuff. So yeah, to me it depends, especially with the last three. But in generally, back then it used to just be nip, panel line, put together real well. I used to have like this really. I used to be able to work with the decals that could give you the foil stickers. I used to be able to work with those like really well. And a lot of used to ask me, "Oh, how do you do it?" I mean, you just slap it on, is what I say. But I mean, it's not a very good word of advice there. I really want to learn to paint with white, whether it be with a spray can or a hand brush. I really want to learn to paint with white with hand brush, because that's like the biggest challenge that I could ever have, and probably any other modeler would share my feelings when it comes to white paint. So, with that said, that's some of my processes on that. I mean, at this very moment, it's kind of in limbo, because I'm in limbo of jumping from how I used to build out of the box and to trying to get to a certain point with my modeling. So I'm kind of like in the middle right now. So with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.